Hello and welcome to another video. I just wanted to quickly show you just something that I'm working on. I had 3 spare Sony NP-BX1 batteries. Well, these aren't exactly Sony, but they are generic batteries used for my Sony ZV-1 cameras. And these batteries have kind of had it, but they still work, just reduced capacity. And I thought, I wonder if I can use these lithium-ion batteries and make a little power bank, or, for example, power this LED strip. So what I did was, first we need a way to charge it once they're all joined together. As you can see, it's 3.6 volts. And if I join them in series, I will have about a 12 volt nominal system. And this little module here is a 3S charging module, and it's got to be in 3S, and I just had to solder some wires onto it and solder the batteries onto it as well. So if I can just kind of get this out, you can see the terminals. There's also a T and a C or something. I'm not sure what they're for. I did look it up, but I was thinking about spot welding strips on them, but the terminals are really too small for spot welding. So I've just used a soldering iron on the lowest heat and very quickly just joined them up together. So as you can see, we've got positive to negative, and then the positive from this end and the negative from that end, that becomes like my main terminals. I've just got some Wago terminals to just connect things up temporarily, or it will be a permanent installation eventually, to make sure that works there. And I've got the strip going because I want to drain these batteries, and then I want to see if this thing actually charges them up. So I'll check in with you a bit later once this has kind of drained the battery, and we'll go from there.
A few moments later.
Just another update. I had this little buck converter that converts 12 volts to 5 volts into USB output, and this is going to drain the battery much faster because I'm charging my phone with it right now. As you can see, this is quite good charging speeds. It's 5 volts, 1.46 amps. That's pretty good for a little module like this. So yeah, I'll drain the battery and then I'll charge it back up. Now, if I wanted to mount this in here, I wanted to know how much power is this LED going to use? Am I going to need a switch or something to make sure it doesn't drain too much? But I might not have much room in this jiffy box. We'll see how we go.
20 minutes later.
Okay, there's quite a bit of mess here. As you can see, I went off on a tangent and I fit it all in. I covered up the batteries with electrical tape, and I put that buck converter there and made a nice little hole and smoothed it out as best as I could. And I also have a 12 volt DC out there, and the lid just goes on top, and there's a little hole in there to see the light charging icon. So not the best, but not the worst. I'll screw it on and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, there we are. It does look very DIY, but you know, this is a DIY job. Reusing 3 camera batteries, turning it into a little 12 volt box. It didn't quite fit in this jiffy box, so that's why I had to cut a hole over the top. I've secured the little boards with double-sided tape so it doesn't go forward or anything when you push it and pull it out. Not quite straight, but it does the job. So there we have it, a DIY 3-cell lithium-ion battery pack with NP-BX1 batteries with a buck converter for 5-volt USB output, and we have a charging module USB-C, and we have a 12-volt DC plug output. How awesome is that? And just a bonus clip for those of you that watched to the very end, I tidied it up a little bit more by putting this black electrical tape over it, and I've labeled it nicely. 3S lithium-ion battery, 10.8 volts to 12.6 volts maximum. The capacity is 1240 milliamp hours or 13.5 watt hours. And we have labels for out and in because this is only for output of 5-volt USB, and the USB-C is only for input for charging the battery pack.
The next morning.
Okay, for those of you that stayed to the very end, the battery pack has finished charging. LED is blue. I noticed that the voltage was dropping and the current's tapering off, and it was still saying red, which means charging, but I just unplugged it and replugged it, and that reset the board logic and detected that it's fully charged. There we have it. It works.